Okay, so this is our third video for today, and this is our main video for our lesson. So it says uses of materials. So what we want to do is explain why some materials are used for different purposes. So different materials have different properties. Because of this, we can use them for different purposes. So let's just have a look at some materials that we have. So from the last lesson, we looked at aluminium, and this is a foil. So you can see it actually bends. It's very flexible, isn't it? So it's kind of good for wrapping, and also it can be a good insulator because it can keep heat in. Okay, so it's quite important. So often you'll see in survival situations people carrying they look metallic, don't they? But it's kind of like metallic sheeting. It's not metal as such, but what it does, because it's shiny, it reflects the heat back. Okay, we've got stainless steel, knives, forks and spoons. So they're very durable. That means hard, very rigid, because you don't want kind of to be eating and your fork starts bending everywhere, do you? And with the aluminium can, so it's thin and it can hold materials in, it won't rust, so that's really important. And again, that can be sort of flexed around. Okay, now I've got some wiring. So this is from a plug. Usually it'd be like 3 or 2 wires. This one must be quite old. It's got 4 wires, and you can see here it's got rubber on the outside. Now rubber is a thermal insulator, so it doesn't let electricity pass through, which is very important. However, here inside, now that's like a grey material. I'm not positive what that is made of, to be honest, but I know it's usually copper. So copper is actually a really good thermal conductor. That means it lets electricity pass through. However, it is not magnetic. So that is really important. And that would go around within a plug, would go around another piece of metal, which would be attached to a fuse. And then that would obviously, the plug would go into the socket. Okay, so it goes into there, into the plug, and you can see here, I think that's made of, I don't know what that's made of, I think some kind of copper is in there, and then that will connect to the electricity mains, and that will let electricity pass through. Now I can touch this. Now if this was metal, I would get an electric shock. Okay, I'd be seriously injured, so it is quite dangerous messing about electricity. However, because it's made of rubber, rubber is an insulator. It's a thermal insulator. It doesn't let electricity pass through. And lots of things like plastic, card, they wouldn't let electricity pass through. But rubber is great because it's flexible. It's also very durable. It lasts a long time. Now, I've just got here some leather. So looking at leather belt. So leather is great. It's, again, very tough. Another word for tough is durable. Okay, it lasts a long time. I wouldn't say it's not waterproof because it can let water in. But so it wouldn't necessarily get saturated. And then we've got metal. So again, that metal is very durable, very rigid, and it helps to attach the buckle. So again, that is used, leather's used for lots of things, like leather wallet, it's quite tough. You have like leather saddles, leather jackets. So people that ride motorbikes will often have a leather jacket. That gives them good protection. So if they did fall off the bike, that leather would protect them to a certain degree. If you wore a standard jacket, you wouldn't get much protection at all. My fleece. So my fleece is made of polyester and polystyrene. So they are man-made fabrics. Obviously, we've got wool and cotton are natural fabrics. Now my jacket, that's a bit different here. My jacket is waterproof. So it's a Gore-Tex jacket that doesn't let water in. It repels it. And if I look down here, see what it's made of. So it says it's made of 50% polyamide, 43% polyester, and 7% elastane. So that's like elastic, so it makes it quite flexible. So different jackets are made of different things, okay, for different purposes. Some are really good thermal insulators that keep you warm. Some are waterproof. So today we're looking at uses of materials, and we're going to look at some vocabulary. So we've got flexible and bendy, they're similar in meaning. Rigid and hard, again they're similar in meaning. Transparent, meaning see-through. We tend to use see-through if we're kind of like very young, but again, key stage 2, you need to use the word transparent. Durable and tough, they're similar meanings. Waterproof, magnetic, electrical conductor, thermal insulator, brittle. So brittle means easily broken, like glass. So our first activity says look at the different uses of materials on this page. Identify the material that has been used in each situation and explain why it has been chosen, referring to its material properties. So we just looked at that, and they're the words we need to be using. There is an example below. So a window pane, okay, so window. So it is made of glass because it's transparent, hard and waterproof. Now these days it's slightly different. It is basically more like, well, it's kind of glass, but it can be mixed with other materials. And a lot of modern day windows, because glass will shatter, but now we have double glazing windows. So sorry, so it can have sometimes a plastic filament, but yeah, glass, it is glass, but there's two sheets of glass, one and one on the other side. And that's called double glazing, and the air inside it acts as an insulator, okay? So it's important because that can then keep heat in. But a lot of windows now have something called argon gas inside it. That's quite technical, and that will just give more warts, or so that will help as a better insulator to keep heat in. So windows are great, transparent, waterproof, and you could say they're very rigid, tough. But a single pane window, they used to sort of break very easy because glass on its own can be very brittle, but this is very solid. Okay, so it's really good for that particular purpose. Okay, so you've got the electrical wire on the outside, which is made of rubber. Why is that good? So rubber is used because it is a very good thermal insulator. It doesn't let electricity pass through. Also, it is very flexible. Waterproof. If it wasn't waterproof, then the water would seep in and it would cause a massive sort of electrical surge. It'd be very dangerous, wouldn't it? Now inside the electrical wire, traditionally made of copper. Why is that good? A scarf. So scarves can be made of wool, they could be made of polyester. Why is that good? What does it help it do? What's its main purpose? So think about the properties, and then the leather belt. Again, think about its purpose and the properties. And then for the next activity, I want you to choose 3 materials, and I want you to say what have these materials been made into. So plastic, what is plastic used for? Give examples. What is metal used for? What is glass used for? And then I want you to explain why it is used for those purposes, using the properties that we've already discussed. So wood, what is wood used for? Okay, some of you might want to sort of research these things in more detail, and that would be absolutely amazing. Okay, so just select 3. Okay, guys, I'm looking forward to seeing your work.